Okay, so right about now you're probably wondering what's in the box, unless of course I've already changed the title of this video to what this is, or if you've seen a spoiler for it somewhere in the details. And let me just say you guys are being a little impatient trying to figure out what's inside this box, this big mysterious box here. The big secret box. You know, in the immortal words of Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, that's the point of the thing not to know. Although I guess that probably wouldn't make a very compelling video, so I'm going to open this box up. But first, story time. Story. Around Valentine's Day, Full Moon Direct was having a promotion. It was a half off with free shipping. So I think it was like half off on like everything on the site, but I can't remember. For people not familiar with Full Moon Features, it's the company that produced the somewhat well-received Puppet Master series, in addition to the somewhat less critically acclaimed Gingerbread Man series, including Gingerbread 2, Passion of the Crust. Bad movies. They sort of fill the modern niche where Troma was back during the 70s and 80s, except for Troma's writing was a lot more hilarious. It's just like sort of low-B entertainment in terms of horror. And unlike Troma, a lot of their stuff features like dolls and like more miniature menaces. So right about now you're probably thinking, alright, so he definitely had to have gotten a doll. But what did he get? Did he get a Puppet Master? Did he get a demonic toy? Well, what's in here? Well, the answer is none of the above. It's actually a much more obscure, much more low-rent memorabilia from a little-known thing called Decadent Evil, which I'd never heard of prior to this, but I figured, hey, it's a 12-inch figure, kind of dollish figure, and you know, it might be nice for just something that's really random and obscure. And I paid $4.50 for this, and that, you know, obviously no shipping and handling, so it's a very good price, and they probably spent like $4.50 just shipping it here. I don't know if they did or didn't. It doesn't mention what they paid, but you know, I basically got this kind of like for free from like their side of things, but you know, let's not dwell on that. Let's take a look at the fearsome Marvin. Now, this will actually be my first time opening the box, other than to remove a lot of the terrible smelling packing foam. I mean, this stuff reeks. For people not familiar with Decadent Evil, basically it concerns a bordello full of vampiresses, where the head vampiress is going to try to become immortal or some crazy thing. So in a lot of ways, it's exactly like Bordello of Blood. Even to the fact that it has the legendary midget actor Phil Fondacaro. I think his name is Fondacaro. Are they called midgets nowadays, or are they called halflings or hobbits or something? Actually, it's probably more offensive. It might be dwarves. But yeah, it even has the midget who was in the dwarf who was in Bordello of Blood. But kind of crazy. He plays a vampire hunter in this one, whereas the other one he was allied with the vampires. But listen to me prattle on. Here we have Marvin. Marvin is a nasty, horny homunculus, part human, part reptile, who stands 12 inches tall and lives alone, trapped inside a birdcage. Once completely human, Marvin turned into a homunculus after his lover, Morella, that would be the vampiress, a 100-year-old vengeful vampiress. What the hell is it looking at? Lost my place there. Learned his betrayal with another human. She sets up a strip club, etc., etc., etc. Let me just pull this out of the box. But yeah, it's on DVD. It has a sequel, Decadent Evil 2. Both films were, weren't well received in any stretch of the imagination, or fairly obscure, but, you know, because it's Full Moon, they decided to release a figure anyway. I hope that we get a cage with it, but I kind of doubt it. Yeah. We actually had a few of the other the actual Puppet Masters there, but they were like, I think it was like 50 or 100, and I don't really like Puppet Masters too much. Okay, brace yourself. This is going to probably be a little grotesque. Boom. Wow, he is pretty creepy looking. You know what he reminds me of? A red, ugly-ass Yoda. Yeah, red, ugly-ass Yoda. It's kind of cool in a way, too. Definitely something a little different there. Wow. Wonder where the hell I'm going to keep him without creeping the hell out of me. But yeah, more details on the inside of the box about the film. Well, film slash character. If you care to read it, you'll also notice that it has another graphic image of him. It's not going to be all that visible, just my resolution isn't great, but if you pause it at times, you can probably make out maybe 1 in 5 words. Nah, I'm kidding, you should probably be able to read most of it, but just be a little tough. I'm going to get him out of the box, and then we're going to have another look. Ugh, almost threw up getting this guy a package. Oh, not for the reason you think. Like, the cardboard inside there was just really kind of dusty or moldy or something. It's just like, when you open it and stuff, you know, some of the smell or whatever got into my nostrils, then, you know, gave me a very strong gag reflex. But, it comes with a base and a stand, although it doesn't really need it. I guess the stand doesn't come out as far as I thought it did, but... Damn. Yeah, trying to compose myself here. As you'll see, he is very gruesomely detailed. Very sick. His hair, which I didn't notice right away. I thought he might have been bald. Also, by the way, I don't really know much about this character because I haven't seen any of the movies, but I don't think he plays a huge role because the midget vampire slayer and has like this one John or whatever, he always goes to, I guess it's a strip club, not a bordello, and like he fell in love with one of the vampire strippers, so the two of them are like one section. You've got the vampire and the vampire slayer, and you know, this guy's just in a cage through most of it, just looking on, I think, from all the clips I've seen at any rate. Detailing wise, impressive detailing of the head and face. Arms are a little lackluster. You only have a point of articulation here at the shoulders instead of at the elbow. We have the wrist here, which can rotate. Very weird hands here. I guess they're supposed to, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be claws or if they just supposed to be hands and they didn't really articulate it much. Legs also move, but no point at the knee. Looks like there's a decent amount of articulation here on the body. Not articulation, but detail. Actually, I'm wondering... I don't think I want to take off the robe just in case he's anatomically correct. There's only so many nightmares one can sustain in a day. Actually, you know what? Screw it. Let's take a peek at what the rest of the body looks like. Hope I don't regret this later. Looks like he's got a drawstring here around the waist for a belt. It's actually kind of cool in a very ghetto sort of way. Should go back on pretty easily. Yeah, I don't want to take the whole thing off right away, just because in case I can't get back... Actually, maybe I could get back on. Or most of the way back on, but... I guess he has articulation at the waist as well. Thankfully, no big red monster dong. Incredibly grateful for that. I mean, I love detailing my figures, but you know, some detail you can do without. Feet look like they have articulation, like they spin, but I think they're just actually fused on. But yeah, kind of gruesome detailing. I mean, it looks kind of like just raw muscle and stuff, like if you took all the skin off a person. You know, this is like what you might see, except for there'd probably also be like a lot of blood, I would assume. Really weird looking ab section, because it's not like normal muscles. But yeah, crazy figure. Actually, it looks kind of like a, it's kind of like a, what you call that thing? Shoot. A poncho. I actually had to look that one up, sorry to say. But yeah, I'm thinking of possibly getting him like a little mini sombrero and just seeing how he looks. Actually, that might be somewhat offensive. I don't know. It's tough when you do like the styles and stuff, but I mean, I think he'd look awesome like that, or I guess he is kind of sporting the Yoda look too. Where he's like kind of running around in what looks like a burlap sack. Yeah, let me toss his little belt back on. Was it right or left? Shoot. Overall, I think this is a pretty cool figure for $5. New, of course. But I mean, at the same time, it's not really something most people would be interested in, especially because it's kind of outside the usual range of everything. I mean, especially if you're like not a horror fan, or if you're a fan of, the more mainstream horror, not sort of fly-by-night stuff. I mean, if you're a fan of the fly-by-night stuff, that's really cool, because I love a lot of the really low-key stuff. I mean, a lot of the stuff that makes it to theaters isn't as cool as the other stuff. Except it's supposed to be his thumb. But yeah, kind of impressed. Not sure what the hell I'm going to do with him, but, I'll think of something. He'll probably end up as a Halloween display sometime. Around Halloween, obviously. Until next time, Fright fans.